Welcome back for another video. 58 points all out on the free hit, so small red arrow, that was 10.2k to 10.7k. It was certainly a what could have been week for the free hitters with so many injury substitutions. I didn't have all of them in my team, but there was Xavi, Salah, Solanke, Havertz, Eze, probably more I'm forgetting as well. They all picked up knocks, or some of them more serious than others. Xavi's picked up a really serious one. Could be the end of Solanke's season as well. The fairy tale ending owning Salah for the last time ever wasn't to be, but that's just life, isn't it? Never goes perfectly to plan. On reflection, a more aggressive free hit with triple Arsenal defence and double Spurs defence would have been amazing. A back five ended up being one of the best ways to go about the free hit. I mean, Thiago, I went for him over Solanke and he came frustratingly close to hauling against Man United. He genuinely could have had a first half hat-trick. Probably his worst game of the season, and it did lead to him picking up a yellow card in frustration. I'm glad to have him back for the run-in though, because they just generate so many chances for him spearheading the attack. So yeah, pleased to keep him, but we'll have to see how the next game it goes, because it's Thiago versus Calvert-Lewin. Let's take a quick look at the community highlights and the lowlights, and then we'll go on to the team for 35. Hassan says, I went from 703k to 234k in just 2 game weeks. Used the bench boost last game week and the free hit in this one, and I guess it has been a success. And I got the triple captain left, let's go. 77 points Olati got, and a really nice reminder that there's still some big climbs that are possible this late. It's a similar story from FPL Andy B. He says, I'm very happy with this. It's been a terrible season, but 131 on the bench boost last week and 81 on the free hit this week has seen me jump from 657k to 191k in 2 weeks, thanks to Casemiro and Gibbs White punts, 81 points all out. Samuel says, I genuinely think my team is the worst team of the game week, to be honest. I had no backup plans after the double game week, and I'd already used my free hit, so I had to take a -4 and see 29 points all out, or 25 after the hit with just 9 players. Really painful one, of course, but weeks like these, you just sort of never forget in FPL when it comes to planning in future seasons. We'll do one more, and the good news is it wasn't the worst one that you got, and this next one is by far the most painful one in the channel's history doing these. Jack missed the deadline, forgot to activate his free hit therefore, and he finished on 0 points. With an entire team that had a blank game week, 0 points. Was 6k, and that was a red arrow down to 52k after scoring 0 points. So, moving on to the team for game week 35, just 4 weeks to go. It's a Friday deadline again this week, so make sure you don't miss it. In goal, Darlow's got a strong fixture, he's playing Burnley home, and I'm going to be lining up with double defence. It's a back three of Struijk, Hill and O'Reilly. Leeds are not mathematically safe, 6 points clear of the drop currently. This is a huge opportunity to essentially secure safety. They've still got to face Spurs and West Ham as well, who are the 2 below them fighting for survival. The other remaining game they've got is Brighton, which won't be easy either, given that they're battling for Europe at the other end of the table. Leeds are second on the clean sheet odds this week, given a 44% chance, and top is Arsenal with 46% home to Fulham. City are third and 40%, and then Bournemouth joint fourth with Chelsea 32%. So it's just the Arsenal defence that's missing, and the big question for me this week is whether I use all the money I've got in the bank to buy Gabriel now or delay it for a week. Buying Gabriel would mean benching Hill though, and it's perfect timing for Bournemouth to be facing Palace really, if there ever was a good time, because Palace have got Shakhtar either side of this game, so it's a Thursday to Sunday turnaround for Palace, and that could benefit Hill. And I've got Tavernier as well, of course. Oh yeah, Double Gameweek 36 was officially announced by the Premier League on Tuesday, so Palace are going to play Everton home and Man City away, and Man City play Brentford home and then Palace home. So it's actually a really strong double for City. Their schedule is a little bit jam-packed as well though, so from now until the end of the season they'll play on the 4th and then the 9th of May, then the 13th, 16th, 19th and 24th. So Pep's going to have to find a way to balance the league and the FA Cup. In midfield, it's Bruno, Palmer, Semenyo and Tavernier. Really strong midfield this week. I mean, anyone that's got a couple of Bournemouth mids, or maybe one mid and Evan Nilsson potentially, in a really strong position this week, and I'm expecting Palace to rotate a few players. 6 goals for Tavernier this season, already his best tally ever in the league season, 10 goal involvements. I'm actually thinking of selling Palmer in a week or two. I mean, it's too early to say, because maybe we'll see a bounce and I want to keep him given Rossini's gone. However, they do have Liverpool away in 36, which could be an opportunity to sell him. And with only one free transfer this week, I probably don't have the luxury of buying any Palace assets for their double gaming next week, so I'm potentially skipping Palace entirely and looking where else I can make up the points. Bruno's a captain shout this week, definitely. He's joint with Haaland on the captaincy tour. They're both on 5 stars, so it's one of those two for me. I'm personally going to be going with Haaland captain Bruno Vice. He's just 1 assist off tying the all-time assist record, which is 20 in a season, which Henry and De Bruyne both hold. It feels like an inevitability with 4 games remaining that he beats it, and he's going to be doing everything in his power to get more. Like, there was that assist versus Brentford, if you watch the game, where I'm certain that Bruno would have ordinarily taken the shot if he wasn't going for the record, but instead he laid it off really unselfishly on his left to Sesko, who buried it. So the forwards this week are Thiago, Haaland and João Pedro. Yeah, the 2 major rank threats this week is going to be Arsenal defence, particularly Gabriel and Calvert-Lewin. I mean, they're both really capable players that have had good seasons, so I need a bit of luck. In other words, I just need Hill to keep a clean sheet or get DEFCON, and I need Thiago to match DCL really. Those are the 2 risks that I decided to take on when I wildcarded in 32. It was Gabriel to Beal, which worked out with 10 points gained in a double. However, obviously it can just as easily swing back now. And Thiago's got 15 points in 2 game weeks. DCL's got 10 points in 2 game weeks, including that extra double game week fixture. So that's also worked out so far. 5 points gained there. But again, DCL, such a fantastic fixture again. It could just swing back. I've got to pray and hope for the best this week. I'll go into transfer plans for the rest of the season in a sec. Basically, I'm looking at buying Bowen in game week 38 for either Thiago or João Pedro. So it's going to depend on who impresses more these next few game weeks. Thiago's got Liverpool away in 38, so that's the tougher fixture. I think it's Sunderland away for Chelsea in 38, so it makes more sense to sell Thiago, but maybe form will dictate what I do there. If you've still got your triple captain, then that double game week 36 announcement, the best possible news, because you can use it on Haaland, or if you're chasing, perhaps you use it on one of the Man City mids. Leeds are joint top with Arsenal for projected goals in 35 with 2.2. City second most, 2.1 goals, and then it's Bournemouth 2.0, Chelsea and Brentford 1.9, and Man United 1.8. On the bench, it's going to be Verbruggen, Beal, Gross and Van Heck. I need to weigh up what Beal's chances are of a start against Burnley, because if he's at all at risk, then I'll drop him deeper on the bench. I mean, many Leeds fans feel that he's their best defender, but he's just not getting the consistent minutes and starts to show for it. And when I sold Gabriel for him, Rodon was still out, but Rodon's back now. He was taken off for half-time in the FA Cup semi-final, for example. Rodon came on, and he came off at 63 minutes in that second double game week fixture against Bournemouth before that. So just 1 free transfer, and I'm really struggling to find a transfer plan that ticks all the boxes for the run-in. Like, if you've got multiple transfers, you're in a way better position than me, because the challenge is that I want Arsenal players, I want a couple of Palace double game week players, I want Bowen at 38 for Leeds home, but I've only got 4 free transfers between now and the final game week, so it's impossible to do it all. The path that I like most actually involves ignoring Palace's double game week entirely. That might work out given their priorities of Europe. However, if it was up to me, don't get me wrong, I would absolutely have Munoz and Karaj in my team if I had more transfers. Sar's got a lot of potential as well, but obviously some recent benching, so he's high risk, high reward. So on a wildcard, I'd actually have triple defence, which sounds crazy. I would have Henderson, Lacroix and Munoz and just bench them outside of the double game week. So let me run you through where I'm at for the final 4 game weeks as it stands. So game week 35, the plan is to roll. Game week 36 would be Struijk and Palmer to Gabriel and Saka. Although I'd have no Palace players, it's still a strong team for the week. You know, Verbruggen, Van Heck, Gross are home to Wolves, triple City for their double game week, double Arsenal's fine. It does all weigh on Saka though, and how he's looking at that point, having just returned from injury last match. There is a risk that his minutes might not be good enough in game week 36, in which case Palmer to Saka could be delayed to 37 and by Gabriel only at 36. Game week 37 is the one that's just too good to resist. Arsenal home to Burnley. I mean, the title very likely won't be decided by then. Could come down to the wire, could come down to goal difference. So I just feel like this one could be a blowout, could be a 5-0 type game. It's also got the added benefit of not being directly after the Champions League midweek. So the schedule goes second leg against Atletico, and then it's West Ham, and then 8 days later it's Burnley home. If Arsenal make the final, that's not until after the season, so there's a really nice gap there. So I really like the idea of just going for Saka, even though it's not been his best season. That all said, he has averaged 4.8 points per match, which is still really solid. Like, that's more than Palmer, albeit just by 0.2 per match. I guess he's not had a great season either, but that ranks 9th best among all midfielders in the league for Saka. And Saka ranks 7th best among all mids for minutes per expected goal involvement. So the potential's there. And the Game Week 37 transfer would be Gross to Dewsbury Hall potentially, having already got the double Arsenal in place. Dewsbury Hall's got Sunderland home. Dewsbury Hall's actually averaged 5.2 points per game, which ranks 5th most among mids, more than Saka, and that's just crazy considering he started the season at 5 mil. But the other reason, besides that fixture in 37 and the form, is that frees up enough money for Thiago to Bowen in 38. I believe with 0.3 million spare as it stands, so in theory should be fine. So that's how I'm potentially looking to spend my final 4 game weeks, and that needs nothing else to go wrong. And as I said at the start of the video, things rarely go to plan, do they? However, if everything lines up, then that feels like a really strong way to go about the final 4 game weeks. Just re-recording to show you my alternative plan, because that plan does all hinder on Saka being an option. That might not be the case. So let's say hypothetically Saka's not looking viable, maybe he's still carrying a knock or not getting the minutes. Instead, I would still buy Gabriel on 36, but it would be Palmer to Wilson instead. So he's got Bournemouth home that week. He's got Wolves away in 37 and Newcastle home in 38. So his final 3 games are really nice. And by buying Wilson instead of Saka, that gives the money to do Timber in 37. Again, this does now hinder on Timber being fine, but he's got Burnley home, so double defence, and obviously he's handy to play in 38, because the only problem with the Game Week 32 wildcard, and I'm sure some of you have noticed this, is you end up with some awkward fixtures in 38. Like, you've got Brighton have got Man United home, it's okay, not the best. Bournemouth have got Forest away, same story. Leeds have got West Ham away. So it does make the defence in 38 slightly stronger, and again it frees up the money to do that Thiago to Bowen move. So that's the alternative path, which involves Wilson and Timber instead. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon for the next one.